I'm just a soft grandmother to lay on when I come and help cook, and they can tell me all their problems that their mother doesn't have time to listen, that sort of thing. It's the same kind of relation.
Not everyone at that Sunday dinner was smiling behind the scenes. What looked like a tight-knit TV family was hiding challenges that fans never saw on camera. Soul Food may have been about love and loyalty, but off-screen, unforeseeable forces were tearing things apart. As the show climbed in fame, it also ended abruptly, leaving fans wondering what really happened behind those closed studio doors. Was it a creative conflict or something deeper? Where are the actors today? Join us as we uncover what truly went down when the cameras stopped rolling. The flavor that holds a family together. When Soul Food hit theaters in the late 90s, it captured a lot of attention. Directed by George Tillman Jr., the film turned family and tradition into something unforgettable. 20 years later, it still feels alive because it celebrates what keeps people together, even when everything else falls apart. At the center of the story is the Joseph family, anchored by their wise matriarch, Mama Jo, played by Irma P. Hall. Her kitchen is the family's battlefield and healing ground. Every Sunday, her home fills with the smell of cornbread, fried chicken, and sweet potato pie.
Ham hocks, pig feet, chitlins. So we learn how to make things taste good by trying things out.
The laughter, the shouting, and the teasing all blend into a dynamic only families understand. No matter how hard the week gets, everyone knows Sunday dinner is sacred. Mama Jo's daughters, Terry, Maxine, and Bird, each carry their own storms. Terry, a successful but lonely lawyer, fights to maintain control as her world unravels. Maxine tries to hold the family together, always caught between her sister's pride and pain. Bird, the youngest, learns that love isn't simple, especially when money and pride get in the way. Yet every argument, every mistake, seems to melt away at that dinner table. The story unfolds through the eyes of young Ahmad, Mama Jo's grandson. His voice brings warmth and innocence to the chaos around him. Through him, everyone could see that Mama Jo was cooking and teaching at the same time. He remembers how she could make peace with anyone over a plate of fried chicken and green beans. Her cooking wasn't fancy, but it carried a power stronger than words. It kept everyone coming home. Mama Jo also teaches the history behind the food. What people now call soul food began as survival. Enslaved Africans made magic from scraps, ham hocks, chitlins, and pig feet, turning hardship into flavor. Over time, those dishes became symbols of strength and love. Cooking from the heart, she says, is what gives the food its soul. It's a lesson passed down like a family heirloom. Tillman's direction made those moments shine. The camera lingered on the plates, macaroni bubbling, greens steaming, and cornbread golden. Each dish looked like a celebration, but it's also a backdrop for real life. Around that same table, secrets surface and forgiveness blooms. The music also gave Soul Food its heartbeat. The soundtrack, packed with voices like Drew Hill, Missy Elliott, Timbaland, and After 7, mirrored every emotion on screen. When Terry discovered her husband's betrayal, Dro, Hills, We're Not Making Love. No More played softly in the background. Each song became another way the story spoke, pulling the audience closer into the family's world. George Tillman Jr. once said he wanted to capture a real black family in Middle America, families who work hard, argue loudly, and love fiercely. He did more than that. Soul Food grossed over $43 million at the box office and led to a TV series that ran for years, becoming a rare success story for a predominantly black cast. Even after 2 decades, the movie still carries its magic. It celebrates the women who hold families together, the recipes that keep history alive, and the quiet strength passed from one generation to the next. But if the movie was so good, why did Brandon Hammond leave? Did the movie that resonated with so many families have a negative impact on him? The young star, who fought a silent battle. Before most teenagers even knew what fame was, Brandon Hammond had already conquered Hollywood. By 13, He had appeared in major hits like Space Jam, Menace to Society, and Waiting to Exhale. But it was his influential role as Ahmad in Soul Food that made audiences truly remember his name. When Brandon read the script, he immediately saw something special. For Brandon, the future looked bright. He was winning awards and on his way to becoming one of the biggest young stars of his generation. But just months after that triumph, everything changed. Within months, he found himself fighting for his life. Doctors soon discovered he had an extremely rare autoimmune condition called Castleman disease. This illness causes the immune system to overreact and stay active even when there's no threat.
That fried chicken smells good. Can't wait to get some of that.
That constant activity can lead to dangerous inflammation and organ damage. Brandon began feeling chest pains, redness in his eyes, and other painful symptoms that doctors couldn't explain. His family traveled across the country in search of answers, but no one could pinpoint what was wrong. Finally, after a biopsy showed swollen lymph nodes, he was diagnosed. Castleman disease is rare in children, and even rarer among Black patients. Brandon became one of the few documented cases. The diagnosis forced him to step away from acting just as his career was taking off. His agents advised him to keep the illness secret, believing that Hollywood might treat him differently if the truth came out. For years, he gave vague answers whenever people asked why he disappeared from the screen. Even while he stayed quiet publicly, his closest friends in the industry knew what he was going through. They supported him as he fought to recover and build a new life away from the spotlight. Though acting had once been his world, Brandon slowly shifted his focus behind the camera, learning about writing, directing, and storytelling from a different angle. Despite his heartbreaking diagnosis, Brandon did something exceptional that got his fans talking. What did he do? Brandon Hammond's intriguing mission. On June 4th, actor Brandon Hammond paid a visit to Irma P. Hall at her Texas home to celebrate her 90th birthday. Fans instantly recognized the faces in the photo he posted online. Big Mama and young Ahmad reunited nearly 30 years after the movie Soul Food. The moment spread quickly across social media, with people celebrating the return of two beloved characters who had shaped a generation's memories of family and unity.
Cousin Faith, Lord have mercy. The niece Big Mama took in after her sister died.
That reunion did more than spark nostalgia. It reignited something in Hammond himself. Now 41, the former child actor decided it was time to revisit the film that changed his life, not just as a reunion, but as a full documentary titled Sunday Dinner, The Soul Food Reunion. His goal is to take audiences back to the world of the 1997 classic, showing what the movie meant then and why its spirit still lives on today. The inspiration for the project came after Hammond watched reunion specials for shows like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Martin, and Friends. Each one celebrated its cultural legacy, and Hammond felt Soul Food deserved the same treatment. At first, Hammond imagined a small event, one big Sunday dinner, bringing the original cast together for a fun night. But as he and his partner, Genesis Scott, developed the idea further, they realized it could be something bigger. They decided to make a full-length documentary, combining cast interviews, rare behind-the-scenes footage, and honest conversations about the movie's lasting impact. Hammond described the shift as a way to move from a simple reunion to a deep reflection on what soul food meant to Black culture and film history. The documentary will feature cast members like Vivica A. Fox, Michael Beach, and Jeffrey D. Sams sharing their memories and experiences from the set. It will include never-before-seen moments that show how the cast bonded like a real family during filming. For Hammond, those bonds shaped his childhood and also his view of storytelling itself. The film is currently in production and set for release in 2027, aligning with Soul Food's 30th anniversary. Alongside Hammond, the project's producers include Vivica A. Fox, George Tillman Jr., Marcia Tillman, Genesis Scott, Victorious DaCosta, Bob Teetle, and Maia Coy. Now fans are wondering where the other cast members are today and whether they will be part of the reunion. Let's check out where they are today. Where the Soul Food cast is today. Nearly 3 decades have passed since soul food first brought families together, but just as the Joseph family evolved on screen, so did the actors behind them. Their journeys since the 1997 release have been filled with ups and downs. When Vanessa L. Williams stepped into the role of Terry Joseph, she embodied a woman torn between success and family loyalty.
Blood circulating to that leg. You're diabetic.
Born on March 18, 1963, in Tarrytown, New York, Williams was 34 during filming, already a respected actress and singer. After Soul Food, she reignited her television career with unforgettable performances as Wilhelmina Slater in Ugly Betty and Renee Perry in Desperate Housewives. Both roles brought her multiple Emmy nominations and reminded the world of her versatility. Williams also thrived on stage, earning Tony nominations for Kiss of the Spider-Woman and Into the Woods. Her talent crossed oceans when she starred as Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears Prada on London's West End in 2024. By 2025, her legacy was officially recognized when she received the Icon Award at the Virgin Atlantic Attitude Awards. Still, Williams hasn't stopped creating. Her latest album, Survivor, captures her resilience and artistry across 4 decades. That same determination runs through Vivica A. Fox, who played Maxine Joseph, the family's voice of reason and heart. Born on July 30, 1964, in South Bend, Indiana, Fox was 33 when she brought Maxine to life. Already known for Independence Day and Set It Off, her role in Soul Food earned her the NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Actress. From there, her filmography expanded with standout performances in Kill Bill Volume 1, Two Can Play That Game, and Why Do Fools Fall in Love. She also starred in the TV drama Missing, where she won another Image Award, and later became a creative force behind Lifetime's The Wrong movie series. Beyond acting, Fox embraced entrepreneurship with her Vivica A. Fox hair collection, promoting accessible beauty and empowerment. Open about her personal regrets, including not having children, she has turned that honesty into strength, becoming one of Hollywood's most admired and outspoken women. Flowing from Maxine's warmth to Bird's determination, Nia Long completed the Joseph sisterhood with her spirited portrayal of Bird, the youngest sibling, born on October 30, 1970 in Brooklyn. Long was only 26 when Soul Food premiered, yet she already displayed maturity beyond her years. Her success soared afterward, starring in The Best Man and its sequels, Love Jones, Big Mama's House, and Are We There Yet? She later brought depth to TV roles in Third Watch, Empire, and NCIS Los Angeles. In 2025, her contributions to entertainment earned her a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Off-screen, Long is a devoted mother to her 2 sons, Masai and Kez, balancing motherhood and stardom with grace and confidence. Tying these stories together is Michael Beach, who portrayed Miles Joseph, Terry's husband, torn between ambition and love. Born October 30, 1963 in Roxbury, Massachusetts, Beach carried a grounded presence that made his character believable. After Soul Food, he continued to build a solid career, appearing in Aquaman, If Beale Street Could Talk, and Saw X. His personal life mirrors the family complexities seen in the film. Beach lives with his wife, Elisha Wilson, his ex-wife, and their combined 8 children under one roof. Mickey Pfeiffer carried that same sense of rebuilding in his role as Lem Van Adams, Bird's devoted husband, trying to start over. Born December 29, 1973, in Harlem, Pfeiffer was only 23 during filming, but his performance stood out. His career soon flourished with memorable roles in 8 Mile and Paid in Full, and with his 6-year run as Dr. Gregory Pratt on ER. Today, he continues to act in film and television, while enjoying life with his wife, Reshalette Barnes, and their 2 sons. The sense of loyalty and endurance continues with Jeffrey D. Sams, who played Kenny Janowski, Maxine's husband and Ahmad's father. Born September 1, 1966 in Cincinnati, Ohio, Sam's built a steady TV career after Soul Food, appearing in CSI, Law & Order, Veronica Mars, and Station 19. He also performed on Broadway, and now lives quietly with his wife, Lisa Borscher, in his hometown, still connected to the values his character represented. The cast's warmth extended beyond the core family to Gina Rivera, who played Faith Hunter, Terry's cousin, whose choices tested the family's trust. Born May 20th, 1966 in San Francisco, Rivera went on to star as Detective Irene Daniels in The Closer, along with roles in Private Practice, ER, and Arrow. Though she stepped away from acting in 2014, she remains remembered for bringing complexity and humanity to her characters. No reflection on Soul Food would be complete without Irma P. Hall, the heart of the movie, as Big Mama Joseph. Born June 3, 1935 in Beaumont, Texas, Hall was 61 when she became the family matriarch. Her powerful performance became the film's soul. Afterward, she starred in The Lady Killers, Patch Adams, and Collateral, earning the jury prize at Cannes. Now 90, she lives in Dallas, surrounded by her children and grandchildren, much like Big Mama herself. Now, to a question that has baffled fans for years: why did Soul Food end, despite fans yearning for its continuity? What was happening behind the scenes of this iconic movie? Why Soul Food ended while still on top? When Showtime announced the end of Soul Food, many fans were caught off guard. The show had strong ratings and loyal viewers. Why stop now? Executive producer Tracy Edmonds explained that the decision came from a desire to go out on top. While the series still had quality storytelling and high viewer interest, behind the scenes, however, rising production costs may have quietly pushed that decision along. Even with its ending, Edmonds made it clear that this wasn't a full goodbye. She revealed that the story would be left open-ended, leaving space for another network to bring the series back someday. That small possibility gave fans hope that the family story might continue, just on another screen. From the start, Soul Food stood out for how real it felt. Edmonds said the show connected deeply with its audience, especially African-American viewers, because the people writing and directing it were telling stories from their own lives. Every line, every family dinner, and every emotional moment came from experiences that reflected genuine Black life. While Soul Food didn't dominate the cable world like The Sopranos, its impact was undeniable. Ron Simon, a curator at the Museum of Television and Radio in New York, said the series marked an important moment in TV history. It broke away from stereotypes and focused on real human stories, showing the power and potential of African-American drama on television. Critics who once dismissed Soul Food as just another movie spin-off were soon proven wrong. Rochelle Thomas, an editor at TV Guide, said the show deserved far more credit. In her words, the fact that it worked is what matters. She noted that dramas not centered around cops or lawyers were already struggling on TV, and Black dramas faced an even steeper uphill climb because networks rarely gave them a fair chance. Many experts pointed out that TV executives often assumed Black dramas wouldn't sell well in syndication or overseas markets. These markets were where studios made much of their profit, so such assumptions often limited what stories got told. But Showtime president Robert Greenblatt challenged that belief, calling it stupid to ignore such rich culture and characters without proper research. As new Black dramas entered development, Greenblatt believed it was time for networks to move past old thinking. Stories rooted in African-American life, he said, were not only powerful but also essential for the industry's growth. Still, there was one major challenge that every producer faced: the need for crossover appeal. Todd Boyd, a professor at the University of Southern California's School of Cinema and Television, questioned whether drama should even be the measure of success for Black representation on TV. He pointed out that while dramas were rare, Black creators and actors had already become more visible across many genres. But the hard truth remained. Television was driven more by profits than social awareness. Without wide crossover appeal, even the best-written ethnic show risked being overlooked. For Soul Food, This reality meant it could only go so far. It performed well as a pay cable series, but it never attracted a large white audience. That gap, historian Tim Brooks explained, would have made it less successful on broadcast TV, where networks depended on mixed viewership to survive. You have to appeal to both blacks and whites, Brooks said. The black audience alone isn't big enough if whites won't watch too. Director Paris Barclay, who worked on CBS's City of Angels, added another reason. He said that some white viewers avoided shows clearly labeled as black shows, even when the stories were universal. Just from the title, Soul Food, white people don't want to sample it, he said honestly. Dee LeDuc, author of Making Great Television, agreed with that view. She noted that while black viewers often watched white-led shows, white audiences rarely treated black shows as their first choice. For her, the next challenge was clear: convincing major networks that black lives were just as funny, tragic, and inspiring as any others shown on screen. Since Soul Food is open-ended, would it still have the same charm if another network picked it up? Could there be other reasons for this show ending other than the increase in the cost of production? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.